This is where things started going south. My mom told me to stop holding a silly grudge, and I need to be there for her. To understand what I said next, you have to know that I was sick of everyone taking her side. So when she asked me, why can't you forgive her? I responded with, what? Like how dad should have forgiven you? For context, my parents divorced due to infidelity on my mom's end, and it was far from just a one-time thing, because my mom always believed dad should just forgive her. After 10 minutes of arguing, I decided the conversation was over because we were heading into yelling territory. So I told her to leave. She was just about to head out the door, but then she turned around with her fists clenched. She was so angry that I could see the vein bulge on her forehead. Mom, what are you doing? Well, she unclenched her first, but still looking angry as ever said, I hope you're not as cruel as your father. I'm typically not angry, but this infuriated and hurt me. I lived 50-50 between my parents. They both made sure I had everything I could need or want, but she felt her situation and struggles were undeserved. Dad never helped with bills or payments that didn't involve me. She expected more. Cheaters always do. I didn't say anything when she left. I blocked her number and social media accounts and cried. She cared more about the girl who had hurt her daughter than said daughter. She quickly realized what had happened and returned the next day, but Dad told her I didn't want to talk to her. True, and that she had to leave. It took maybe half an hour before she finally left. She tried to reach me the next few days through other people, but I stayed silent. The Friday after my post, I decided I felt calm enough to talk to her and unblocked her. We spoke over the phone, which wasn't as exciting as above. It was her apologizing and telling me she was wrong for trying to force me to forgive Nikki, that she'd respect my decision, but tried to suggest I think about it. I very firmly told her I was not forgiving Nikki. She just said, okay, things didn't feel the same with us. I couldn't bring myself to be as chatty with her as before, and it didn't help that she kept giving me updates about Nikki. The first time she did it, she told me Nikki had been put on a 72-hour psych hold, assessed, and eventually released. I told her I didn't want any updates on Nikki's situation. I won't stop her from checking in, but I didn't want to be involved. She complained and said she thought I'd want to visit her, but I threatened to block her again if she kept pushing and shut up. Nothing was mentioned about Nikki for a couple of weeks before Mom again broke my boundary and brought her up, telling me about how Josh had stopped talking to her and how Nikki needed a shoulder to cry on. I again told her I didn't want to know, and this was her last chance not to bring her up, or I would cut her from my life. She complained again, but eventually promised it wouldn't happen again. Maybe I should have learned from my mistakes because I know my mother. She doesn't take no for an answer. It was quiet for a while. My friends and I had all carried on from what happened, and even though I know a couple of them still occasionally talk to Nikki, they never bring her up around me or tell her, I hope, how I'm doing. I thought I could finally close this chapter on my life, but nope. Today my mother called me and asked if I wanted to get lunch. I hadn't seen her in a while, so what was the harm? I head to the Weatherspoons we planned to eat at, and who do I find sitting with my mom? Nikki and her sister Tammy. As soon as Nikki sees me, she gets up and tries to hug me, but I just raise a hand and take a step back.